for the Olympics.
Yes.
And just when we are out of the Olympics,
then
we're
I'm
having you. We are blessed to have you this morning.
Thank you so much. Your studio is always friendly.
It's friendly.
But today won't be friendly.
Today won't be friendly.
Fortunately, Prof is not here, so you.
The Prof is not coming today.
Okay, so it was yet another disappointing end for Ghana at the Olympics. Their hopes of winning a medal in Paris was dashed after the relay team was disqualified in their heat, having finished sixth in the race, and the quartet of Abdul Rashid Saminu,
yes,
Benjamin Azamati, Ibrahim Fuseini, and then Joe Paul. They clocked a time of 38.62 seconds, but they were disqualified because they changed the button out of the changeover zone, and so it was not to be for Ghana. And it's about the fifth time in their last 6 races, and it wasn't too good for Team Ghana. Mr. Bawa Fuseini is here. Let me first of all ask you, watching the relay, what was going through your mind, especially when we saw the Heat 1 and then Ghana was in Heat 2 with all the other competitors? What was going through your mind watching that before we look at the assessment of Team Ghana?
Watching the first heat, I was much encouraged that Ghana will make it to the finals, at least looking at the rankings of those that we were running with. I didn't have any doubt to believe that we cannot make it to the finals. So I saw the disqualification before the time came. Because when I saw the TV, when I saw where Joe Paul took the baton, I knew it was outright disqualification. Because if you know the rules, you saw where he took the baton. He was clearly out of the exchange box. So I just woke up. Since then, I've never watched TV again. I didn't watch the games again, up to now. I just left and I went to office, I locked myself, and I was sitting in the office. Because it was so heartbreaking to have seen what the athlete themselves put in, what the GOC put in, what the ministry put in. Even at that time, the minister left home that he was going to watch the 4x100.
Yeah.
So he went a day before. Yes, a day before. And there was a lot of issue that the minister made sure that everything was settled for the boys. And to see what just happened, if I say I'm disappointed, it's going to be understatement. So I just off my TV. I went to my office and I just locked myself. Up to now, I've never watched the games again. And this is my first live interview that I'm granting after that incident. I've received a lot of calls, but I just said no. It's very painful, and it's not easy for us, not easy for the athletes themselves. But what is not good is the number of times that those errors are occurring. For me, it's scary. It doesn't give much hopes. If you look at the last 5 races that we took, five races, yes.
Hold on, let me cross over to Paris and speak to Jarius Mola, who's joined us via Zoom, and then speak with him. We are talking about the. First of all, he'll tell us about his assessment of the games, and then whether it's the end of the Kenyan men's distance running domination. Jarius, good morning. Okay. Do we have him? Okay. Let's see what. Hello. Okay. We'll try and establish. Okay. Okay. So, Jarius, can you unmute? Hello, Jarius. Kindly unmute for us. Okay. we will try and re-establish contact with him, and then get to speak with him. Okay, so let's get back into the studio and
yes. So I was
there.
saying that the number of times that we commit those errors is becoming one too many, and it's become worrying. If you look at the last 5 races that we engaged ourselves, we made about 3 errors. Those 5 out of the 5, we made 3 errors. That is not sustainable. That is not excusable. It's difficult for me to explain those type of errors. They are not one particular errors, but error is an error. So we are not going to give any excuse. We are just waiting for them to come back. Then we'll just have to revisit the 4x100, the training regime, the selection regime, whatever goes into it. We just need to really look at it again and have a holistic approach to it again. We can't keep on having those mistakes. We can't keep on breaking Ghanaians' heart for God knows when. Because the athletes themselves were also disappointed. They were also down. But I spoke to them after the race. I told them that what happened has happened. They should maintain cool. They shouldn't grant too many interviews that it will give us more problems. It was pretty hard.
One of the excuses that was given had to do, and I was amazed to hear that the place was noisy. The place was noisy.
I'm very sure. I'm very sure the athlete said this unconsciously, because that cannot be an excuse.
Because there were others there.
The others there, you are not the only person running,
yeah.
And others could hear the. I mean, maybe he just said he didn't actually meant what he actually said, because that was noise in the stadium.
Yeah,
it's part of spectatoring. Look at the African Games here.
So much noise.
It was so much noise. In most important competition like the African Games or Olympic Games, you can't do away with noise.
They even add to the ambience. Of the race.
Yes, of the rate. So that statement, I'm very sure he didn't actually meant to say what he said.
Okay. Do we have Jarius now? Hello? Hello, Jarius. Okay. All right. Okay. So he tells us he's settling in from the marathon. He'll join us shortly.
Okay.
He'll join us shortly. So, okay. So one of the other issues people have raised has had to do with the changes in personnel.
Yes.
What might have necessitated
from Samini to Azamati?
Yes.
The first HM.
Yes.
It's difficult for me to explain that, because
have you spoken to the coaches?
Yes, because they have practiced for more than 2 weeks, and right before the race, I spoke to the coach. He said the exchanges for the past 1 week has been so good, even including the Olympic Committee. Everybody were at the training grounds when they were practicing. 2 things might have happened: either they were down by nervousness.
But these are experienced guys. Yes. They've been there. Azamati, Joe Paul.
For nervousness at that level, no matter who you are.
Mr. Bawa, not to cut you.
Yes.
If you talk about nervousness, probably will be for Joe Paul, because he haven't tasted the stadium ambience and then the track. But Rashid and Azamati had used the track and the venue. And they were the cause of the poor start that we had. So for the 2 of them, I don't think we should give them the excuse of nervousness.
Okay. I can't explain. Frankly, if I'm trying to explain, the more you try to explain the errors, the more you infuriate people. The more people get angry. So because seriously, I was so shocked. Because Samini and Azamati have been our fastest athlete, that whatever we were going to achieve, it was going to come from them. And yet the first error came from their exchange. Prof, you want to say something? No. Prof, feel free. Today, no, this is a friendly place. I mean, whatever. Don't say that I'm your friend.
Don't feel intimidated by your friendship. By your friendship with him.
Yes.
No,
feel free. Say whatever you want to say.
Look, my thing is this.
Yes.
For me, if it's nervousness and those things that are being given, Then, question is,
okay. I think we
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Jarius. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Yes, it's afternoon in Paris.
Sorry, I've been up and down, just moving venues from the marathon.
It's all good. It's all good. But Jarius, let me start with you by asking, what has been your assessment of the games thus far? We're just about a day to go. What's your assessment of that from the journalistic viewpoint?
I think there's been a shift in terms of what we are probably used to seeing at the Olympic Games. I think there's been a shift in terms of what people expect and what people are seeing right now. You're getting a surge in new countries that are getting medals in places that before has not.
Hello? Okay. We're having some technical challenges in there, but once it's resolved, we'll hope to bring him back.
Got into fencing for the first time. So, those are just some of the things that we're seeing here that are slightly different. And of course, countries like the USA now getting to get medals in races like, 5K. So it's just a small shift, but I think generally in any championships and also over time, there's that period in sport where countries, there's that shift. So that's what I can see. The weather here is fluctuating. Sometimes it's too hot, like now it's crazy. Sometimes it's raining and drizzling, so a mixture of both. Sometimes you're wondering whether it's really summer games, and sometimes generally that's it.
Right. Now you mentioned the shift, in the events where even the United States are winning the long distances and all of that. There are some who are of the opinion that it's getting to the end of the
match back home. So that's something that had really stood up for me. The atmosphere in the stadium and actually all the sports venues I've gone to.
Okay. Right. So I was asking, you made mention of the shift in the authority or in the dominance of some of the games, especially with the long distances. Now we knew that the East Africans were good at that, especially your country, Kenya. There are some who are of the opinion that it's getting to the end of that dominance because there are other countries that are doing things right and so are stepping in to win some of these races. What can you tell us about Kenyan athletics and why is it that the dominance is over? What is not going right?
I think there's Kenya has previously been dominant, and now it's something that
all right. We'll have to cut this interview and then we'll look at it later once we are able to establish a proper and a better connection. We'll bring him back. Thank you very much. Jarius Mola is a Kenyan journalist who is currently in Paris covering the Olympic Games. We're sure to have him as and when we are able to establish a proper, connection to him. Right. So let's get back.
The business, our nervousness and those things.
No, Prof, the nervousness, I said it. I'm not saying that what he told me.
No, don't worry. It's whatever it is. See, how many times have we, when we finished 2020, we were sitting here with Benjamin Benunu Mensah, and we spoke about psychologists. We spoke about this, and and we were told that everything, some plans have been put in place. It will be shared with government so that we will ensure that this coming Olympics, we would make sure that we take psychology. So if noise in the stadium was a problem, how did Mikel Arteta prepare his Arsenal team when they were coming to Anfield?
Play that you never walk alone loud at training grounds. But after that game, they still lost.
But what I'm saying is that they still lost. But what I'm saying is that at least there was an attempt for preparation.
Okay.
To prepare them to deal with the noise. See, I'm saying that look, there are things we overlook, we don't take seriously. If it was football that consistently we watch, and then the Black Stars is conceding goals from a particular, maybe from corner kicks, we will point hand at the coach and say the coach is not preparing the team well. So at this point, I think the president is sitting here. Questions must be asked of the coach.
So I want to ask the president now. President, are there plans to revise the training or the technical aspects of this to prevent future occurrences?
Let me answer for instance. The team has never been one team. That's one of the major problems. We can't get them. We can't get 4 people at all times.
Yeah.
The team that ran in African Games was a different team that ran in Pennsylvania, was a different team that ran in Bahamas, was a different team that ran in Cameroon. This is completely new team.
But Joe Paul and Asaase have been constant.
Yes, have been constant.
Thank you.
But
both
your issue came up.
Yes.
Why was Botu not in there?
No, we only go with the first 4 fastest.
Okay.
At the time.
Okay.
And Botu was the 5th fastest.
Okay.
That is why Asaase this man Gadayi couldn't go. Because Gadayi was the 6th fastest.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Samini came in to replace Bosho because Samini had to run 10.06, 10.04, which was the fastest among all of them.
Okay.
So in order to answer the issue of the coach, because we do not have consistent one particular team that they can continue practicing, and the coaches too, we have domestic coaches, what you call local coaches, and foreign coaches. We do not have a system where we have one particular coach who will always take the team at all times.
Okay.
Like we have in the Black Star, we have one Black Star coach. He's always there for the team till his time of contract expires. We were what we call rotational coaching. The coach that were with African Games was not the same coach that went with a team to Pennsylvania. Was not the same coach that took the athletes to Bahamas. The coaches that were with Cameroon was different. These coaches currently are different coaches. So no.
Why is that the case?
We have that challenge, that to have one person we call national coach or national team coach.
So once we've identified that it's a challenge.
Challenges.
What steps are we taking?
The challenges are 2. I can deal with the coaches at my level.
Okay.
I can decide to say, okay, now with this kind of problems, let's have one particular coach who will take care of the national team, or maybe the national 4x100 team. But that is one side. How do we make sure that we have consistent athletes who are running the relays? That is almost impossible to have.
No, but that shouldn't be a problem because in the United States, they do not have a standing 11.
No, it
keeps changing.
It keeps changing. That's why,
and yet they find a way out. Jamaicans have found a way out.
They also keep on.
Canadians are finding a way out. So why are we not able to do it?
That's why they also keep on having issues with their 4x100, but not as many as we are.
Exactly.
Yes. But I mean, I don't just want to give excuses.
So, Rula.
Yeah.
See, psychologists, training, facilities are very, very important.
Yes.
But you see, it is time that the athletes themselves take responsibility. It is time we can blame Bawa Fuseini. We can blame the sports minister. We can blame government for not giving them the necessary
support.
But the athletes themselves should take responsibility And I love the fact that, as Amati said, this was the worst relays they've gone.
Yeah.
Do you need a psychologist to tell you where you are changing the lane? You're not supposed to be there. You can't have 11 relays, and on 5 out of the 11, you've messed up the baton. It happened in Tokyo, in Birmingham, at the African Games here. We could have won gold if you had changed the baton well. It happens even at the World Athletics Championship. In all this, are we going to say that they didn't have coach, they didn't have psychologists? There have been moments they've had psychologists. There have been moments the same team had run 2 previous races before, and they've still dropped it. Yes, we understand the conditions we find ourselves, but the athletes themselves should take responsibility for what happens on the tracks. Yes, maybe consistency, providing them the better timetable and all that will come in. But they have to be very responsible. Fine. So why don't you also take responsibility and say, I think we disappointed Ghanaians? It wasn't because we don't have a coach. It wasn't because of any psychologist or all that. But they failed us. And that is the fact. It's becoming too many. If Coach made an example of Black Stars, look at Ghana versus Egypt in Ivory Coast. Would you blame Chris Hughton for those back pass from Usman and Inaki Williams? They're players themselves. Okay. So we should sack.
No, I'm just saying that eventually, we found a very nice way of sacking the coach. So we found a nice way of blaming the coach. Okay. But I think, Inas, I feel that our athletes, like Felix said, they escape the lenses of the media.
The scrutiny.
Always.
They escape. Because you see, if athletics wants to enjoy like football, then they must be ready to take the other side.
Okay.
If they want to enjoy like football is enjoying, like football is getting the attention, then they must be ready for the other side also. The criticism of it. And the players must. And you see, anytime you have taken any of those so-called least finance sports, their players on, they say, oh, they don't give us money. So you people cannot expect a lot from us. And once they put them today, Botswana, the guy who won the 200.
Yeah, let's leave Togogo.
Yeah.
We have Togogo Day.
Yeah,
it's a holiday.
So a half day.
So Bawa Fuseini, if they had won gold, will we have Bawa Fuseini Day? It is their name.
Yes, it will be Azamati or Relay Day.
Relay Day. I mean, somebody the Botswana guy is earning close to about $200,000.
We'll talk about him.
So you see, I'm saying that I'm just buttressing Felix's point that it is important for our athletes to know that when the honor comes, when they are standing on the podium, it's not Bawa Fuseini.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody.
They are the ones standing there.
They will be standing there in the stead instead of Ghana. I mean, and so I feel that yes, at a point they need to take the responsibility, but we too, like a father who expects the son to go and do well in an exam and bring home good results. If you've got to buy the textbooks, you've got to pay the school fees.
You've got
to pay the extra classes fee and make sure that.
Let me ask Ba, do you think that we gave them enough support to expect so much from
that
them?
One here is a very simple answer.
Let me. I want to hear it from. I want to hear it from the president's own mouth.
No, with the last time I was there, we discussed that.
Yeah, he said everything.
Yes.
So they had everything.
No, they had everything that
they
they
had
requested.
no excuse to fail us.
This trip, honestly.
No.
I think this is the best preparations we have.
They had no excuse to fail us. So
it was an Olympic.
They were in camp. The allowances were paid. Some allowances delayed, but it was eventually paid.
Before that.
Yes, it was paid. Even the allowance that the paid them from Pence. Pedants from Bahamas, pedants from Cameroon were all paid before.
So should we put all the blame at their doorsteps?
Not necessarily.
No, it's difficult for me to say that. But I know something has happened. But I'm not sure they themselves are happy about what has happened. They themselves are not happy because they realized that the people that were in the stadium, the Ghanaians that came to support them, the whole mayor, and there was a city of Strasbourg mayor who is also a Ghanaian, also came to the stadium with his family, with his officers, staff, just to come and support them. So they saw the people that came to support them. And if we, as an athletic family, if we are to sustain that kind of support, even to get more, we should do as much as possible to avoid those kind of disappointments.
Yeah. Please let us know what your thoughts are on Team Ghana's performance in the relay. Tell us what you make of all that happened. 020-000-0995. Send us a text or WhatsApp, and then we'll read that. I mean, a lot of people have had issues to talk about with regards to this team and the performance they put out there, having to step out of the change zone.
It's pardon.
It's so unprofessional. Look, and it's not the first time.
No. Look, we don't learn. Let me just put, since Bawa Fuseini is here, let me just put this across. Let me
that one there is not a coaching match.
Let me put this across.
They should know. They are professionals. They should know when to cross the line and when not to cross the line. You have not received the button, so why do you cross the line?
That's it.
That is purely, unprofessional.
Yes. Look, immediately after COVID, South Africa did changes. They changed their head of athletics federation. I think Versata also. So
we should change that.
No. I'm coming. No.
No, we're not changing.
The change brought about a lot of changes.
Okay.
Both upstream and downstream. And there's this, when I was doing some reading, there's this thing that he said then. Look, they need to change how athletics is run. They need to go to the American model. The American model in the sense that, look, I think they had over 100 athletes in the US and other countries. When it's time for the national competition, you have to come. You won't be selected if you don't run in the national competition. It's based on that they select their athletes for any major event.
Not to cut off.
And it's based on
this
that.
lady, she was the Olympic champion from Tokyo. She fell doing the trials, the American trials. They said there won't be a rerun. She's not going.
And that is the rippling effects we saw in the 4x100. They won what? They won silver. Look, the decision to introduce the National Relay Championship is a strategy aimed at engineering cheap medals and avoiding lack of practice issues such as dropping the baton in the Olympic heats, as Team Asaase did in the 4x100, the last Olympics. This was in 2022. That means they made conscious effort, deliberate attempt to make sure that, look, they are ready. We need to establish a culture of relays in the country. The Asaase athletics explained. Relays are not easy, but the Polish have proved to us that you can work at them, and South Africa has huge potential in that regard. We have depth, and if we can develop our relay squad as a squad instead of a bunch of individuals, the sky is going to be the limit. Look, I don't want to go into what he said. Fast forward, whatever decision they took, whatever roadmap they developed,
they have now set an African record. 37.5
and finally seconds. A medal.
They've gotten the reward. They've gotten the reward out of it. It didn't happen in the vacuum. They planned it and they executed it. And that shows the last Olympics, they won 3 medals. This Olympics, they've won 5. Including the almighty relay 4x100. That we know it's just for the Americans, the Jamaicans, and then the Brits or the Canadians. But they've broken that duo or whatever dominance at the Olympics. And they look, is it Pele or what's his name? One of their athletes, Pele. He does what? Jonathan Pele. He was superb. It's rather unfortunate that he did not win any medal. But all the race that he finished, he went to the finals. Look, it's a step. And the least we expected from this our relay team, we were here before the Olympic commenced when we even spoke to the team PR, Graham, the media attaché.
Yeah.
All that we were afraid of or scared of is they freezing at the final round. But here lies the case. They even failed to make
into the
finals. That means we need, you see, this has become a cliche. We need to go back to the drawing board. It has become a cliche that now it doesn't even work.
See, the drawing board self retire.
Ekow, how often do you see the Asians dropping a baton?
I don't even remember the last time they did.
Chinese?
You saw the Japanese.
The Japanese. They were so swift and smooth.
See, you know one thing? They don't even depend on the individual strength of the athletes. And they go as a team. They have mastered the art of exchanging the baton.
So swift.
And you won't see an Asian dropping a baton. No way. So there is a way we can learn. And I like the South African model. I don't know what model Mr. Bawa Fuseini and his colleagues
we'll ask
Ghana Athletics use.
We'll ask him what next.
But it is important that, because now we have different disciplines when it comes to the relays.
Yeah. Now a lot.
A
lot of
national relay event will be superb. And I don't know if Mr. Bawa Fuseini have seen videos of the intercore happening at Airwork.
Oh, come on, such a. See, it's not good.
If my child was participating in that intercore, I'll go there on Monday. But thankfully,
all right, so you're still live here on Asaase 99.5. We are live in Kumasi, live in Cape Coast, and then also live in Tamale. Feel free to share your thoughts with us on all the issues we are talking about. We've been talking about Ghana's disappointing Olympic journey, and we in the studio with us is the president of Ghana Athletics, Mr. Bawa Fuseini. Our WhatsApp line is 020-000-0995. You can also watch this live on Facebook at Asaase 99.5. Go there and watch and share your thoughts with us on all of the issues. We'll go for a quick break, and then when we return, we'll be looking at what steps are being taken by his outfit to ensure or to correct this anomaly that has consistently been happening in Team Ghana. And then touched briefly on Rosie Eboa missing out on a medal after she was unsuccessful in her third attempt to clear the bar at 1.92 meters. This is Team Talk. We are back shortly.
This advert is FDA approved, not recommended for lactating mothers, pregnant women, and children under 15.
All right, welcome back. We have done, we are into 12 already, so it means that we have just about an hour to go. You're still live on Team Talk on Asaase 99.5. Let me do this quickly. Let me do this one quickly, because if I don't do this, I'm sure I won't be spared. So a quick birthday shout there before we continue the discussions. Let me say happy birthday going out to you. Margaret Kofi of the hospitality department and manager at the Plasu restaurant at the Takrady Technical University.